Hello. Okay, so once the hike pass feels relatively comfortable, the next thing I'd like to work on is called the air swing, which is a rehearsal of the two-handed kettlebell swing, but without holding the kettlebell. Let me demonstrate. So here's how we perform the air swing. We'll take our stance, again, grip the feet to the floor, push our hips back, push our back pockets back to the wall behind us, feel a stretch and tension where our hamstring meets our butt bone. We're gonna reach for the kettlebell, and we're gonna do our hike pass, so connect the upper arm to our ribs and touch the forearms to our upper thighs. Then we're gonna stand up powerfully into our standing plank. Remember, standing plank, feet grip the floor, pull your kneecaps up with your quads, hold $100 in between your butt cheeks, brace your core. The kettlebell will fly up and away from us. Then the kettlebell will come back down, and we will wait for our upper arms to reconnect with our ribs. Then we hinge back, and then allow the kettlebell to return to its starting position. So here we go. Hike, stand in the standing plank. Kettlebell flies up and away. Kettlebell starts to fall back down. We wait for our upper arms to reconnect with our midsection. Then we hinge powerfully back into our athletic hinge. Then allow the kettlebell to come back to its starting place. So the air swing teaches several important things about the swing. First thing is that our lower body is doing the driving. The swing is not a shoulder lift where we use our arms to lift the kettlebell up. We give all the energy the kettlebell needs to fly up and away from exploding from our hinge using our lower body and exploding powerfully into our standing plank. All that power then gets transferred into the kettlebell, and we allow the kettlebell to fly up and away. All our arms are doing is holding onto the kettlebell and keeping us connected to the kettlebell so we don't actually throw it out in front of us and hit something. Secondly, the air swing teaches proper timing of the hinge as the kettlebell is coming back down. A common mistake is people will, once the kettlebell is coming up and away, as soon as it begins to come back down, they will begin to hinge their hips back. And what this does is it causes us to load our lower back as opposed to loading our hamstrings and lower body. Because the weight is so far away, we have to stabilize ourselves using our lower back. This also causes the kettlebell to swing so low beneath our knees that it also causes a loading of our lower back as opposed to our lower body muscles. So imagine there's buttons on your midsection, and we're waiting for our upper arms to press those buttons, and those are our hinge buttons. So when those buttons are pressed, that's when we will hinge back into our athletic hinge, and then we'll allow the kettlebell to return to its starting position. A third thing that it teaches is proper breathing mechanics for the swing. So when you're jumping, you want to make that vocal breath effort when at the extension of your hips. When you're jumping, you don't exhale at the height of your jump. It doesn't make sense to do that. So similarly with the swing, a common mistake is people will exhale when the kettlebell is at its peak. But that's not where we want to give more force. We want to give all of our force at hip extension when we arrive at our standing plank. And that's when we give it all the power so the kettlebell flies forward and away. So think of it like punching. You want to punch there. So punch at hip extension. Imagine punching with your hips. And that allows the kettlebell to fly. So once you feel comfortable with the air swing, practice single swings with the kettlebell. So this is called a start-stop swing or a dead-stop swing, where we do one swing, then allow the kettlebell to come back to rest. So here we go. Athletic hinge, back pockets back, tension in my quad where my hamstrings meet my butt bone, knees below hips, below shoulders, grip the kettlebell. Tip the kettlebell towards you so that it becomes a straight extension of your arm. Break the kettlebell handle in half. Breathe in and explode into your standing plank after you hike. Then I'll park the kettlebell. That's 1 rep. Let's do another one. Okay, so practice the air swing, and once that feels comfortable, you feel like you get the concepts and ideas behind the air swing, feel free to begin practicing some start-stop swings.